Okay, so I just decided to do another Saints mock draft because they're my favorite team, and this was the first mock draft I did, so it was a long time ago. So a lot of stuff has changed, different needs, maybe some needs filled up, so we don't need to address. Um, yeah, just a lot happened, so I think it's a good idea to do another mock draft before the draft, especially with my favorite team. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let's look at the free agents, and oh my god. We gotta see what happened in free agency, then get into the draft, and you know how it works. So Trey Hendrickson, we lost. Yeah, maybe a bit of a unfortunate loss with the breakout year he had last year. But he signs a massive contract with Cincinnati, and I don't think we would ever been able to afford that and be able to sign the other players we did. So I'm kind of glad we didn't sign him to that because he is a bit raw and he only had that 1 year production, so I'm not too annoyed. And then Janoris Jenkins is probably somebody the Saints would have liked to get back, but we cut him and it saved us a lot of money. And then he goes to Tennessee Titans for a good contract. He's still a good cornerback, so it's a bit unfortunate because now we've got a glaring need at that second corner spot. And Marshawn Lattimore is kind of up there if we're gonna bring him back or not. Sheldon Rankins, we also lost. He's been injured a lot, so and last year he wasn't really that amazing because I think the injuries kind of hurt him, but he was really good before he had all these injuries. So I would have maybe liked him because now we've lost a few defensive tackles. So yeah, maybe Nick Vanette, a good blocking tight end. So I think it's a pretty good contract. 3 million, 3 years, 8 million, 2 a year. So that's good. And he also addressed, and like Sean Payton said also, that they think he can also be a threat in the receiving game. So I think that's good also because we already know he's a good blocker. Kind of replaced Josh Hill in that second tight end type of role. Good mentor to Adam Trotman also. And then Justin Hardy, he was an amazing special teamer for us. Kind of like unappreciated just because of his special teams. That's all he played, but he was very good. But I mean, we got players that can play his spot. And then Emmanuel Sanders, again, we cut him to save money. He goes to Buffalo. I'm not too annoyed. I think we can get a younger player than him who can kind of be better. So yeah, and then we signed Tano Kapasingal. I feel like we could have spent this money in other spots besides defensive end. I didn't think it was that big of a need, but he has amazing upside and is a freak athlete. Again, was very raw coming out of university at Villanova, but supposedly he was on the Saints' radar before the draft, and they had like meetings with him and stuff. So I think they've liked him for a while. So I'm worth taking a shot because he could kind of be that breakout type of player that Trey Hendrickson was. And then Jared Cook, yeah, everybody wanted him gone. I did too. I think Adam Troutman can be better, so I'm not mad about that. And then Williams is a pretty good signing because he can play corner and safety, so he's just versatile. But if we roll into season with him as our second corner, that probably won't be very good. So I hope that doesn't happen. And Alex Anzalone, he's a pretty decent linebacker, to be honest. He's nothing amazing, but he was better than most of the guys we had besides like Quan Alexander, who we had to cut. Hopefully bring him back cheap. He better come back. Nobody's signing him yet, so just hopefully come back to us. But I would have maybe liked Alexander Zuloni back, but it's not too bad. And Josh Hill we lost also. It's fine. He's old. Replace him with a younger player who's more threat in the receiving. And we signed Alex Arma, very good special team running back, very freak athlete. So I quite like that. Signed him for a year. It kind of replaced Michael Burden. Can kind of probably be a better player. Colin Alexander, yeah, we cut him. I hope we get him back. Like I think that would be really good to get him back, just because he was very good. Nick Easton, he could probably retire because he had a bunch of concussions, but he is a pretty good guard. Thomas Morstead, we cut. Craig Robertson, we'll probably try and get him back for like another year for on a cheap contract, just because he's a really good mentor and plays special team as a captain on that. Badamosa, kind of depth, kind of corner, nothing special. Jameis Winston, how they not updated this man? We re-signed him for 1 year, so yeah, everybody assumes he's gonna be a starter. I hope he is. DJ Swearinger, I wouldn't mind him coming back because I quite like DJ Swearinger. James Hurst, we also brought back, he's just not shown up. But he's a when Teron Armstead was out last year, he stepped in really well at the left tackle spot. So if injuries do happen again, then he's a good tackle to kind of step in. Ken Crawley, nope. Ben Fowler, maybe. He got injured last year. I think it was like his collarbone or something. Will Clapp, nah, he's just not very good. Colwick and Jason Van Laan, nah. Will Jordan Humphrey, I'd maybe like to get him back because he's young and he had that amazing play in the Chiefs game. So, yeah, he's still young. Could be a good depth kind of receiver. Practice squad player, though. Cameron Tom, practice squad player also. So, yeah, we'll get into the mock draft now. Let me just take some water. Boom. So much picky. Okay, pick 28. Think corner, linebacker, receiver. That's the big things I'm going to target. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, that is very, very tempting. It certainly is. I think I might do that. I think he'd be a really good complement to Demario Davis. Demario Davis, kind of that more great run stopper, can also cover pretty well. I think we need more speed on the opposite linebacker position. That's why I think he'd be better than Zaven Collins because he's not really that speedy type of linebacker. He does have speed, but Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, really speedy linebacker, can play in the slot also and safety, so extremely versatile. And I think Dennis Allen could use him in a bunch of ways. So I'd really like that because he's very versatile. So I'd like it. Receiver or cornerback? Cornerback's probably what I have to go with. Melifonu's not bad. Neither is Tyson Campbell, but I'm just going to take one of my favorite corners in this draft. Paulson Adebo. I really like Paulson Adebo. He was really good at Stanford, and then he opted out, which kind of hurt his stock because people would have liked to see more of him. But I think he's a really good cornerback. And yeah, he's a really good lockdown corner. He literally follows the receiver the whole way. So I like him a lot. Again, receiver, I'm probably going to go with now if there's anybody I really like. Kyle Trask was interesting. Supposedly the Saints are interested in him. So I could see that. Seth Williams, probably not. Cornell Powell. I actually might wait a pick. If there's any. Tuipolojos. Or J2 Felly. Ali McNeil. Oh, this is so difficult. I'll go for J2 Felly. I think he's better than Tuipolojo. Can get more pass rush in that interior, so I like that. Quincy Roche wouldn't be bad. Maybe another corner also. There honestly wasn't that good receivers, but I could still probably go for that. Frank Darby, is weird. Like, I don't know if he's good enough to really take for the receiver. There's probably better receivers, to be honest. Cade Johnson's interesting. Demetric Felton, Cornell Powell, actually. I like Cornell Powell. I think I'm going to go for that. He's a good route runner played at Clemson. Of course, played against that good competition, so I like that also. And the Saints need receivers, so I would like that. Because he's a good cornerback. Ooh, Israel Mukamo just went. That would have been pretty decent. Did go linebacker, edge maybe. But we did pick up a lot of edge guys. Cameron Sample would be nice. I think he goes earlier than this though. So I'm not sure. Maybe another tight end, but the tight end class isn't very good. Maybe, who's that dude? Yeah, Samis Reyes, that international prospect who's like a basketball player. He's a pretty interesting player, to be honest. I might go corner again, though. This is who? I think Marco Wilson, man. I think he's a really good corner. He's probably a top 15 corner in this draft. I like him for that. And the Saints really address corner because we need probably two corners in this draft, to be honest, because it's quite thin there now. We do have our slot in Chauncey Gardner Johnson, but you don't know if we maybe switch him to safety, but probably not. I wouldn't really like that. And now we're waiting. I'm pretty sure we got a 6th round pick. I know we got a couple sevenths, maybe. I think it's 2 7ths. So, so we went two corners, a D line, receiver, and linebacker. So I like that. Josh Matarebe would be really good in this offense. Could go another receiver. I don't even mind the receivers on the Saints, to be honest. Everybody's kind of freaking out about it, but even when Emmanuel Sanders out, players like Marquez Callaway really stepped up. So I like um, our receiver position just getting one. I think I'll probably go for edge. William Bradley King is really low. I like William Bradley King. I'm going to go for that. He had a really good year the year before this year. This year was a bit like not as amazing, but he's still good. Safety's not really a need. Maybe quarterback. Everybody's always got the Saints going quarterback. And I might. This is who? Sam Bushele is alright. He's just a bit boring and didn't really do anything special. I think if I would go for a quarterback this late, it'd be Felipe Franks because that freaky arm strength. He's probably got the biggest arm in this draft, so that's really something to look on to. He's just a very raw quarterback, to be honest. That's it. And we've got one more pick. Probably just best available, but I don't think Sage Surratt's going to be on the board. Like, some of this stuff is just unrealistic. Like, even Josh Palmer could go, like, in the 4th or something. Like, I'm not sure, but I kind of want to be a bit realistic. I might go running back if there's anybody decent. Jarrett Patterson, actually. I like Jarrett Patterson. I'm just going to go for that. I'm just saying about a lot of my guys. So let's go over the Saints draft. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, first pick. He can play opposite of Demario Davis, and he can also be used in a bunch of different ways also, because he's a very speedy, good linebacker, and I just think that would improve our defense so much, just one player, because of his versatility. And then you get Paulson Adebo, who can be an outside corner opposite of Marshawn Lattimore straight away. He is really good in that position, so I really like Paulson Adebo. I have him pretty high up, so I think that would be a very good pick in the 2nd round, and I would not be disappointed with that. And then Jay Tufele, we need interior defensive linemen. We lost Malcolm Brown and Sheldon Rankins, so I think he can step in straight away, kind of fit those guys' role. He's a good run stopper and can get a bit of pressure, to be honest. He's not too bad at it. So, yeah, 3 down defensive linemen. So, and then I was like, oh, shoot, we need to go receiver, so I just went for it now. Cornell Powell, I think he's a pretty good receiver, probably top 20 in this draft. But there's a lot of good receivers in this draft, so I don't think it's that big of a need to go for it in the 1st round unless like somebody foul or something. But I don't mind the Saints receiver position, but I think he could be a really good speed threat on the Saints. And yeah, speedy, very shifty receiver. And then Marco Wilson, he's very high upside corner. Has all the traits basically. Very good with his hips, can flip his hips very well. Mirrors the receiver. He's just very good corner, to be honest. Just has character concerns, but I don't think that's a big deal. And then William Bradley King. I quite like William Bradley King. We just get more edge rush, and he could be a really good rotational player. And then I just took a shot on Felipe Franks because he has amazing upside. He's got freaky arm strength. And he's just an amazing athlete. 6'6", 230 pounds. So, yeah. He could be a really good quarterback, to be honest. He's probably, like, not going to be anybody special, but I'd rather take a quarterback now, like Felipe Franks, than go for, like, Kyle Trask in the 2nd or 3rd, because I think you get better players there. And then the last pick, Jarrett Patterson. I just like Jarrett Patterson. I think he's a good running back. So, yeah, that's the Saints draft, and I hope you enjoyed. and tell me your thoughts.